You know, you're always angry at the guy with $1 more, and you're protective of the guy with $1 less. It's part of human nature.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you again. Now, America, if you really think that these progressives believe, hey, the evil rich guy, okay, all right, that would make sense if they were consistent, right? Do you remember all the progressives that were punishing the oil companies for their windfall profits? Remember? You can't make that kind of money when Americans are in trouble. Wait until I give you the news next on the Fed. You'll have to ask, do these people believe in anything other than special favors? Next. Hello, America. I'm kind of nervous. Tomorrow I sit down with Sarah Palin for the first time. I've never met her. I've talked to her now for quite a while. We've had conversations on the phone and email, and I've had her on the program, but I've never met her. I've never looked her eye to eye and sized her up. Tomorrow night, for the full hour, Sarah Palin will be with me, and we'll size her up together. Hopefully she won't embarrass herself by coming on to me, because chicks dig me so much. I mean, it's really... Barack Obama is talking about taxing those big, evil, bad bankers. Remember, class warfare. Big bankers, lots of profits, very bad, unless you're in the protected zone. Well, he wants to make up for the losses on the bailout, and he's reviewing the end-of-the-year bonuses. He wants to make sure nobody's getting too much money, and while America is struggling, nothing unseemly is going on. Oh, those greedy bankers. I don't want them making any profits. Oh, no. Confiscating profits is becoming standard fare in Washington when a company makes windfall profits. Do you remember when gas prices recently soared? Politicians, watch this, all went after the oil executives. Watch.
The other day, the oil companies reported the highest profits in the history of the world. I want to take those profits.
You're going to take those profits because they made, what was it? Joe, what was it? $45.2 billion? That's what ExxonMobil made. $45.2 billion. Oh, that evil big oil. While you were barely scraping enough cash to fill up your car and get to work. And it was tough. Remember those days? Those greedy monsters were raking in record bonuses and record profits. It was at $45.2 billion. It was a world record for profits in any year. They were stealing food right off Americans' dinner tables, starving your children. How dare they? Our politicians, because they care about you, took brave action and dragged oil executives to Washington, D.C. to give them a lecture, let them get a piece of their mind. And now they're going to go after the banks. But there is another company who's making obscene windfall profits, the Federal Reserve. They announced a windfall profit of $52.1 billion. I think that's bigger than 45.2 that Exxon made. This is an entity independent of the government making record profits, the biggest profit of the Fed of all time. You've seen the reaction to the banks. You've seen the reactions to big oil. So far, nothing on the Fed. Where are these people when it comes to the Fed?
And guess what this liberal would be all about? This liberal will be all about socializing.
Watch the guy in the back. I love him.
Would be about.
Oh, look at him.
Basically, taking over. And the government running all of your companies.
Try not to laugh.
Your profits are very handsome. In fact, your individual compensation is very substantial. You're doing really well. On the other hand, there is dramatic pain for consumers.
We should have a windfall profits tax on these outrageous profits of the oil companies.
I have strongly called for a windfall profits tax.
The best way to do that is to construct and
apply a windfall profits tax.
The idea of a windfall profits tax, which I support.
I don't like obscene profits being made anywhere.
There should be a commitment that each of you make. I would recommend that it be 10% of your profits go into renewable energy projects.
Wow. Where are all these people? I'm glad that they hate obscene profits, especially at a time when Americans are suffering. The politicians, of course, are outraged to learn that the Fed made more in windfall profits than ExxonMobil. Well, at least I think they're upset. They haven't said anything about it. I mean, if they were upset, it's kind of hard to tell because there's no dog and pony show hearing scheduled. Nobody's threatening to take their profits. Nobody's standing in front of the Fed like they were the gas pumps saying anything. Why is it politicians are outraged at big oil, even though they kept profit margins low during the high gas prices? But when profits benefit them, there is no complaint. When the Fed makes a bigger profit, why? The Fed raked in $52 billion for what exactly? Here's their charge. I mean, we still had gas, did we not? When Exxon was making all the money, we had gas. There was no shortage of gas. Exxon did their job. The problem with Exxon was the government trying to keep things cheap while the government was trying to shut you down and stop you from exploring anywhere. Well, what about the Fed? The Fed was created, their gas charge, if you will. What are they supposed to do? Well, they were created to stop bank panics. How's that one working out, America? Can you think of any big problems with banks in recent history? That's a tough one. I'll have to think for a second. The Fed was also created in part to bring about economic stability. In other words, there were not supposed to be any bubbles that burst. Huh. Can you think of any bubbles? Realestate.com. Money bubble. How's that one working out? They're doing a good job. They deserve every dime of those record profits. Where are the politicians on this? Where are the hearings? I, for one, would like some answers. Will there be any penalty on the Fed? Who are they in bed with? Why can't we audit the Fed? You see, we're no longer a nation of laws. That's what that protected pie was all about at the beginning of the program. We're all about double standards now. Everybody is equal. What is the last line in Animal Farm? Everyone is equal, just some animals are more equal than others. That's what this is about. Exxon, I mean, let's look at these. If you're in Exxon and you make profits, well, the government needs to take that profit. But the Fed? Oh, no, don't worry about those guys. Bigger profit over the Fed. At the crisis point of our country, the Fed? No. They're not evil. We need more from the Fed. Exxon? Evil. How about AIG and Bank of America executives that can't have any bonuses? But if you work at Fannie and Freddie that caused this problem, nobody says anything at all about their bonuses that were just as big. You don't pay your income tax. Off to the slammer you go. But Charlie Rangel or the 50 employees in the executive offices of the President of the United States. Let me say that again. The 50 employees that work in that building who currently owe $812,917 in taxes, nothing. You don't mess with the IRS. Trent Lott, he says nice things about an old guy at his birthday party. He's shamed, fired. Harry Reid calls Obama light-skinned and without a Negro dialect. I'd sure like Katie Couric or somebody to ask Harry Reid, what exactly is a Negro dialect? He gets supported and defended. Doesn't seem like we're consistent. How about this one? If you try to give your family the best health care plan, a Cadillac plan, if you work hard for a Cadillac plan and that's part of your compensation, you're going to get socked with a 40% tax on that Cadillac plan for your health care. But if you have a Cadillac plan and you're a member of the union, don't worry about it. No questions asked. We're not going to tax you. Today, it's more about who you know than the rule of law. Robert Creamer steals $2.3 million from banks, and he's excused by Democrats because he was helping the poor. Oh. So there is no right or wrong anymore. It's all subjective. When we start caving because of the R or the D, or justifying breaking the law because the ends justify the means, we're finished. We as a nation will be over. George Washington said, "We are a nation of laws, not of men." Well, now we're a nation of men and special favors. It seems today it's only a matter of what man you are or what man you know. The government already has done so much for big banks, but what's in store for them now? Not the Fed, just the banks. Next. Last night I was driving home and I sketched this out on the way home because I heard a story about the fat cat bankers. Man, it sounds good to say that. I hate them already. They're such an easy target, aren't they? Especially in a tanking economy. All you need to do is find a scapegoat, and it's a surefire way to score political points. Fat cat bankers.